Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your master of the mystical martial arts, X7, also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. How about that? It works out well, doesn't it? Today, we're going to start a new feature here. It's called Shaolin Saturday, as you can see on the screen. And we are going to be examining not just movies about Shaolin or Kung Fu, but martial arts in general. We will talk about them and maybe review more books about them or television shows. That could be fun. I've noticed that in the YouTube channels, the Kung Fu oriented podcasts and or episodes have been very popular. So we're going to see if that works like this. So today our movie is going to be Men from the Monastery from 1974, or as some of us knew it the first time, Disciples of Death. And it's technically the second movie in the Shaolin Cycle. The first one was Heroes 2, which was released in January 19th of 1974. Men from the Monastery was released a scant 4 months later, April 3rd, 1974, when your humble agent was but a wee agent of whopping 9 years old. And it features Hue-chien and Chen Tai, directed by Chang, of course, Shaw Brothers. There you go, Men from the Monastery. And Kar-Leung and Tang Chia were the fighting instructors, which you can really see the influence of Kar-Leung. Loads of hungar in there, but also just really good action. I mean, and just wonderful. I never did find out who did the music for this movie, but it tells a similar story as Heroes 2, and technically I should have done Heroes 2 first. However, this copy was on Internet Archive. It's wonderful. It had both an English dub and the Mandarin dub, as well as the English subtitles if you wanted them. But so it's divided up into four parts actually. The first one is about Hue-chien as Fang Shih-yu or Fang Sayuk, depending on how you want to notice it. Now, this says the movie is 101 minutes. My copy runs. The one I got off there runs 90 minutes, so maybe there's stuff left out. I didn't see anything. I've seen it a couple times as well. I mean, I have a physical copy of it somewhere, but it's really easy just to get screen grabs right from here when it's on the computer. Be that as it may, it starts out with Fang Shih-yu leaving the monastery, and to get through it, they have to go through the Shaolin Wooden Men, and they are determined to stop him. But he does a great job, gets through it, and then this guy here, one of our traders, tries to stop him, and he gets out. Then these two go, and talk to their boss. They're both traders to the Shaolin and the Mings. They're Manchu people. And this guy looks vaguely familiar. Now there are more. I count 4 in this Chang Cheh cycle here. He's the director, of course, but there are other ones like Shaolin Disciple or Shaolin Avengers, also Avenging Warriors of Shaolin, aka Shaolin Rescuers. We'll get to them, but these first 4 movies we're going to talk about are the ones that start right in here. So, plus I've got them all written up started to write about them in a issue of Zenorama, due out sometime in the future. This guy, of course, is Pai Mei, the evil villain, the white eyebrow priest who knows that, and they lean far more into the legend that Fang Shih-yu is invulnerable except for one part, which we'll get to, because his mother gave him certain baths and made his skin super tough. That's all they say about it. They go into it further in, I think, Shaolin Avengers. I'll have to look again. Hue-chien played. It was his role that really made him a big star. Was Fang Shih-yu. So he played him several times, at least 3 or 4 times, probably. Don't remember anymore. Other people have played the hero. Meng Fei, I think, played him before Hue-chien, and then when they made sequels with Meng Fei, he had adapted a lot more of Hue-chien's mannerisms. Anyway, the fan there. Fang Shih-yu was a noted swordsman, and not. I mean, you never see Hue-chien use a sword as Fang Shih-yu, exclusively. The fan was his thing. He's meeting more. He's outside the temple, and he wants to get his revenge on Tiger Li, who has sent out his men to kill people, and it doesn't work with Fang Shih-yu because look, he's wiped out 5 guys all at once. This is a great print, by the way. Tiger Li fights on the poles, which is just very traditional. Let's show you how balanced we are. There's always sharpened bamboo at the end, so if you fall off, you die. I guess if you fell off at the edge, you wouldn't die because the sharpened bamboo aren't there. Great fight scene here. Fang is using the crane style, which was what he's. I mean, he used the both the tiger and stork. I say crane, but he uses the crane style exclusively in these two, in Heroes 2 and this one. And we'll get to Heroes 2 next week, promise. But he defeats Tiger Li. This is all part of his mythology. And he was a real person. I want to say he lived about... never mind. I didn't do my research. Then we get into Hsi-kuan as Hue-chien, one of the other heroes of the movie. And he's out for revenge, of course, because this jerk here, his dad gets killed because he won too much, and the guy that runs the town had him killed for winning and gambling. And they're going to drown him. But fortunately, the young lady, his lady friend, saves him, and then Fang Shih-yu gets him to Shaolin. They ring the bell when he escapes. He jumps over the wall and runs off. Look at this outdoor lot that they could shoot on all the time back in those mid-70s. It just really gives you a sense of scale in the movie. Makes it seem more epic. And there he is. He was played by Chang Tao, maybe? Hsi-kuan Chen, pardon me, it said right there. And while he's destroying the boss's factory, Fang Shih-yu is winning all of because his hands are so quick, he's winning all the silver taels from their crooked gambling outfit. They try to beat him up, and that doesn't work. And didn't catch her name, but she's pretty much the only woman in the entire movie. Kind of a typical Chang Cheh sausage fest. But he's about to have his revenge here in an inn at the second floor because he's got it back up there. Smart. And it's still difficult to get action shots because they're blurry. I mean, the Blu-rays might show a different story, and I'll be happy to look into that when we get to the Shaolin Temple. Also, Heroes 2 is a Blu-ray, so we'll see. But they move so fast that it's just hard to catch anything. And once Hue-chien gets his revenge, we go on to Chen Quan Tai as Hsi-kuan. Now, Chen Quan Tai was a legit martial artist, a master of monkey kung fu, I believe, and maybe a Southern Tiger style. You'd have to ask Blake; he would know more than I would. So go check out his book. It's all about the style. I have reviewed it. And here he's at a brothel, and these two Manchus are trying to get girls for free or something. And he takes exception to that and kills both of them. He's already a master. This guy here, this actor here, is also in Heroes 2. We'll see him. He's the one that tricks, spoiler alert, he's the one that tricks Fang Shih-yu into attacking a wounded Hsi-kuan. So this is the only two times that Chen Quan Tai played Hsi-kuan. It's too bad because, he left Shaw Brothers, came back a couple times here and there, but, probably as a contract actor as opposed to being written by how the Shaws did business. But he just he was a well balanced. He had really great chemistry in Heroes 2 with Hue-chien because he was straight laced and Hue-chien was not. It works out really well. You'll see. And outdoor shots of all these actors, and see, he's serious. He's gonna. You would not want to fight him. Here's his elbow. It's called a jang in um, Cantonese. I don't know what the upward elbow is, but the jang is the elbow part. And he kills the guy, deservedly so. Traitor. And there's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 actors slash stuntmen doing their all out, not hurting each other, but looking like they're killing each other. So kudos to the fighting team. Then they're all dead. I'm assuming. I mean, and in all these movies, especially, they just leave the bodies. They don't bury them, especially the bad guys. But even their friends, they're like, oh, they're dead. Well, they're gone. I understand that belief system because the body is just a shell. They've warned Stobelcore that the heroes are on their way if they're Klingons. Yeah, I told my coworker she would have been a Klingon too, and she thought I was a big nerd. Go figure. But just, I just love the outdoor shots. Yeah, kind of grainy, but they're kind of blurry. But they're headed out to find some place. They got to report back to this guy, who we see as the villain in many movies. And then we get to the final segment. The fourth segment is the men from the monastery. According to Wikipedia, this was called something dragons. I don't know, but men from the monastery is the English title, and that's what we're going with. Also known as disciples of death, right? And we get to the burning of Shaolin Temple, so everyone is out there. But in this one, Sayuk knows, or Shih-yu knows, both of them, Hsi-kuan and Hue-chien. In Heroes 2, Hsi-kuan doesn't know Fang Shih-yu, so that's where they get to do that. They split up, and this is where they're heading to the junks that the boats that Hsi-kuan used. He was the only one that lived the longest. And again, I don't remember who the young lady is, but she does a good job. She gets to fight. I mean, she does get a lot of fight time in there. Capture one of the guys who try to get him to betray him. He kills himself. The end. These two guys are traitors or Manchus pretending to look for the Shaolin men so they can join up, but she's too smart for that because they're leaving trails. And see what happens to them? I'm surprised they didn't write on them. And these Shaolin men are not above killing people by traps. They use a tiger pit. Ugh. You just gotta love the red blood. And there's their hiding place. So once again, an outside. I mean, I'm sure they built this, but they just the sets back then were just great. And again, the outside photography just makes it gives us such an epic scale. Can't translate it, didn't provide me subtitles. Here come the bad guys, a bunch of them. And fortunately, they get warned, and out they come. And this is just a great shot here. Look at that. You can see they're outnumbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to, I don't know, 18, 20. And the battle is on. And again, they don't kill each other. And they have to look like they know what they're doing. So every one of them had to practice this. That's Lau Kar-Leung right there. And there's Chen Quan Tai battling that one guy. Sayuk. I tried to get some of him. Here you can see that they're hitting him with the cane, or the staff, pardon me, because he's invulnerable and he can't be hurt that way. His skin is like a shield of steel. Actually, this Batfang predates this movie. Just bunches of fighting. So the last 20 minutes is almost all fighting. Unfortunately, they weave in between the different people fight. There's 3 sets of people fighting, including the throw around guys that get killed. Once more, look at that outside, just wonderful shot. And they have weapons. Everybody has weapons and things. Once again, he's batted him out of the frame. Oh, I thought I got rid of that one. Now, This is the guy that Buck May or Pai Mei told how to kill uh, Fang Shih-yu. So keep an eye out. We'll see. I tried to edit that. Just yeah, the action just doesn't work. Oops, should have gotten rid of that one altogether. And when the murdering starts, when the killing starts, Chang Cheh did this thing where he'd go to sepia tone and see they're just killing, and there she is being threatened, and then her boyfriend shows up. I think that's Hue-chien is her boyfriend. She's fighting, he's fighting, and then you'll know when he's about to get killed because red. I mean, and there's a lot of. If this movie didn't turn to red, the blood would be everywhere because it's blood soaked. I mean, that was one of Chang Cheh's notorious traits: is people died, and people died a lot in his movies. His girlfriend gets shot. He's bound up so that his intestines won't fall out, and he can continue fighting even though he knows he's going to die using his martial spirit. But she gets shot in the back, and he goes ballistic and just wipes people out because he knows he's going to die. What do you have to live for? You can take anything. That's a Hsi-kuan fist, which just missed. It was a lucky shot. Finally, he gets Fang Shih-yu to leap up and stabs him in that one spot where he's going to die. And of course, he got a boot to the head and dies because he's bleeding out the eyes. That can't be a good thing ever. Oh, I should say that I don't have I looked for an English trailer here, and there wasn't one. And also, while you're here, if you've gotten this far, thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. I love the comments. But I don't have an English trailer for it. So I'll have a grainy one from I don't know. It's from a VHS tape, but it has the English titles on it. Everybody was kung fu fighting. I meant to start that way earlier and just got distracted by how good this movie is. It's not my favorite because it is. I mean, there's one survivor. Fang Shih-yu pulls out the sword from where it is, and if you know where it is, yikes! And then he dies, and that's it. We get this final title card. Fang Shih-yu did not live long, but he did not die at Shaolin. I mean, at least that's what we think they know about him. Hsi-kuan, yes, did Hung Fist, or known as Hung Gar, which is what Lao Kar-Leung practiced in his clan. So, and then it is the end. All right, so that's our movie, and still in black and white because he's dead. But it's one of the rarer ones. I don't know that it had an official release on DVD, except in Hong Kong on Region 3 or whatever it was. Good movie, a little downer of an ending. Heroes 2 has a triumphant ending, and some of the other when they kind of move away from the death of Fang Shih-yu. Although again in Shaolin Avengers we get a bunch more backstory for him, including his mother, how she made his skin super strong with all that. It was not pleasant for him, at least according to the movie. But my fellow agents, there you go. We have our movie. Oops. And that will be the start of, I hope, a fun Saturday segment. I will see what kind of what kind of numbers these get. But the Kid with the Golden Arm got an amazing amount of views, so thank you very much for that. And the Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Mania also got an amazing amount of views. You got to go with what works, right? At some point, well, I'll do, I won't always do Shaw Brothers movies, I promise. They're just really the best. Anyway, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off. Sing us out there, Carl. Or maybe not.